In these 50-50 families nowadays where we all work and the couple, a man, and I'm telling you, I attribute this to my fame of who I am, likes his face when he gets in the kitchen or when he barbecues. So don't get in there and try to weed it away on them. Some guys, it's rare that they cook. Be honored. They want to take care of you, you little priss, you little miss. Sit down, enjoy his company, visit with him if you want, or go catch up on some other thing. Let him cook and have his domain. This is how a man thinks. Some of you men might not know that, but that's really what's going on inside of you. Anyway, there's probably more I could say. I'm impressed. Mark Giordano won the Mark Messier Leadership Award in hockey this week. These guys, some of them take their money and they do honors in the education system. And Justin, education is the only thing that's going to change people that have wrong thinking, hateful thinking, views that are, I'm not even going to use the word racist. I want us to move beyond that into a word of hate only, because we're all equal. I mean, we shouldn't even be seeing ourselves as I'm white or black or anything. We should just be seeing ourselves as people, right? Education is the only thing that changes these things, gets people thinking in new mindsets. The Giordanos I hear on the news purported on hockey are by Brian Burke, the ex-coach and commentator who may be on his last year. Who knows? He's getting up there. I like hearing his very thorough thought. He's saying they donate hundreds of thousands of dollars a year of their own money to go out and speak in schools and encourage young people to do well and do more and to know their potential. They can do well. Think well of one another. I hear that Drew Brees, the NFL football quarterback who makes I don't know how many millions of dollars a year, I'd have to look it up. I heard this on NBC, is donating $5 million into the black ethnic communities of Atlanta for education, so people can come out of their wrong gangbanger, theft and steal thought mindsets and attribute kindness to one another and try to get a good work ethic going and get beyond the limitations of their own thinking. I promote that. These athletes, some of them are probably given 10% of their money into the community for efforts. I know PK Subban, former Montreal Canadian, black guy too. He's been playing in Nashville the last few years. I think he's still there. I have to check. But he's as well a speaker, and he goes out and he donates time and effort and cash into lesser have community. In Canada, we did not cause these problems. But anybody that came here of own free mindset, and we're all equal. And there's a lot of heritage with the First Nation people. And we have worked through these problems. And I outlined it, I said again, those 5 key financial areas on my Badco Training Vault timeline. Some of them have done well. Some of them have oil and gas plants on their nations. They've negotiated these things with economy and society. My own friends out here at Siksika, just to the east of Strathmore, are good farm managers. Instead of leaving the land in the raw natural state, they put a lot of it into farm progress. There's a lot of good going on. So it's individual. You don't know. Some of the ones that are struggling, well, are the Chiefs flying down to spend a week in Vegas and gamble away money, or is the money getting distributed out properly to all the crew that lives there? You got to ask these questions. We got to be accountable in society. I know I certainly am. There isn't a thing about me that most people don't know. My own family, my mother, everybody. And sometimes I just like a little privacy, but oh well. I guess it goes with a training company. So go from there. wconnectionscon.ca. I hope you've enjoyed some of the music I've added in. Kim Mitchell, Rock and Roll Duty, out there doing your rock and roll duty in the marketplace. The millennials, my closing point. You're doing well. You impress me, you young people. But here's something to know if you're marketing to millennials as a business owner that's more my age, up in the boomer or high Gen X age. Or even if you're a customer standing in line and you're going to deal with a millennial, there's 3 things about them I want you to know today. Millennials tend to be not so much warm and fuzzy, But they often were in a divorce where they came home every night, talked to their single parent, mother or father, usually a mother, I propose. The garage door went shut, and they sat there and they became the feelings for their single parent who was hard day at work, hard at work, all that. So they tend to be feely in their nature. Because the Gen Xers and the lower end of the boomers attributed in their upbringing was the heritage of ancient wisdom, but they moved away from it into experiences and feelings of their own. So the millennials don't know absolute truths. They do not know necessarily absolute truths of ancient wisdom, things that are time tested and have lasted forever. They tend to have that feeling emotive nature. A lie and a truth can be subjective or the same to them. They don't necessarily know the difference. So in a business deal, if you can keep it clean and simple and make it level and evened off and squared up, you'll do well with them because they like that. It feels comfort to them. It feels assured to them. It feels safe to them when they lived in this turmoilish kind of world where their parent was relying on them as a sounding board. That's one thing you should know. Whether you're the business side or the customer side, okay, know that. The second thing is, because they had this experience I just told you, they're partly a parent in nature already, even though they're in their late teens, early 20s, I suppose. So they're going to want to, in the customer service transaction, and they don't think about it, it just comes sort of naturally or it's instinctive. They kind of they're going to want to parent you, even if you're a boomer or a senior citizen from the traditional era, a high up Gen Xer. So you got to welcome that once in a while. They want to know that you have your little nook. You go off to the side and you kind of want comfort and you lay down for a minute. And they want to know that intuitively inside themselves, that they can purport that to you, that kind of nurturing, purporting parenting type of astuteness in their customer service transaction or role. Now you are going to want to do that because you're older and you're raised that way and they're younger, but it's got to be a mutual street. You both have to be accommodating, and if you're too loud and proud as a senior, and some of you seniors might have trouble with this, you're very set in your ways and you can't be yakking off and telling them what to do because they want to help, but this is in them because it's part of their transition and their upbringing and it's who they are. So you got to allow them to be like you and get along, and that's that. And the third and most important thing is they're quick. They know they can do two things at once. Most of you, and sometimes even me, for example, can only do one thing at a time. They can do two. For example, they'll be texting and talking to a friend on their iPhone while they're skateboarding down the sidewalk or street beside you, or riding their bike with no hands. Now, they know what they're doing. You got to get out of the way, because you're going to straight arm them, right? And kids, watch out. There'll be the odd guy like me that looks like me, but he's maybe not me, that's going to insinuate you're going to learn a lesson here. I'm on this sidewalk too. I'm an older person and I'm walking. I'm going to reach out and nobody's going to know any different. I'm going to grab that hornet or fly and sweep it away right about the time your neck comes in contact with their arm. So you be careful out there, kids. And give all other people some due attention. You look up from that iPhone you're texting on while you're skateboarding or your bicycle once in a while, and you just make sure there's nobody in your path, and you give them half the road and the sidewalk, and that's equal. Attributing on the other side of the generations, all people are equal. Bernie May, Connections Consulting, wconnectionscon.ca. It's all there. Hope you're having a good day. Maybe we'll be back next week with steak or wieners. We'll see how we do here this week in the market economy. I'm frugal, I know. It's all good here. Live within your means. I hope some of you people with these big houses right now, you're not the ones freaking out in society, driving your truck through the front doors of the bank like I was almost threatened with, or the person working in the customer service role in the fast food joint throwing the ice cream, the apple pie, in the garbage, swearing, because you might end up with it with some people, like I said before, packing heat. Maybe they'll grab it and go throw it on the front seat of your Pinto or your bicycle. You got to get along out there. So if you've created your own havoc in this tough COVID market, I assure you I'm not going anywhere. I'll keep teaching these principles, but it's up to you not to create your own demise by having some self-control and not exploding in society. The better we all get along together, the better we are. The better we get along, the better we are. Now go from there. The Bear the Coach, Connections Consulting, Bernie May, 403-519-3495. Give me a call. We'll do a business deal.